Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. So today we're going to be talking about Teen Mom stars Catelynn and Tyler Baltierra, as well as their bio daughter, Carly. And I have a guest on with me. We told you guys a while back that we were going to come on and talk about Catelynn and Tyler. The situation kind of got bumped up today due to that took place today. But I do want to say I wanted to have you on because this is something that we have a little bit of a different opinion on with Catelynn and Tyler. But then today, photos of Catelynn and Tyler's biological daughter, Carly, were leaked. And we started corresponding about that. And we were like, you know what, let's jump on a live stream and let's talk about it because we have some pretty strong opinions about these leaked photos.
Yes, we do. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. It was fun last time you were on. It's always fun whenever you're on. So I appreciate you coming, especially at such short notice because we were texting about this and you were like, are you going to do a live? And I was like, do you want to come on with me? And you were like, hi. Yes. So I guess I'll explain kind of what happened really quickly and then we can kind of give our opinions on the situation. If you guys don't know, this is Tiffany. She is everywhere, but I found her on TikTok and that's where I end up watching her the most is on TikTok. We both have, I guess, strong feelings about Catelynn and Tyler. I now lean more on the side of like, I guess maybe I probably come off defending them more than not. And Tiffany is more on the side of like, they need to shut up, which I'm actually on that side too. It's not that I feel like they don't need to be quiet, but after talking to like people in the background and I know Tiffany's going out, she's having some problems with the internet. If she goes out, she'll come back in. But I kind of feel like I felt like they needed to be quiet initially, but then when I found out some stuff in the background, I was like, oh, now I get why they're speaking out. Now I get why they're wanting to make sure Carly knows this information. So I'm going to send another link to Tiffany. Let's see. She's having some issues with her internet. So hopefully we can get her on and she'll stay on. But let me tell you guys what's happening, okay? So as we all know, Catelynn and Tyler, they put their daughter Carly up for adoption. In the past few years, she's back. I told you I'm back. In the past few years, though, ever since Carly was about 5, they've really wanted Carly to live a private life. They did not even want Tyler and Catelynn posting photos of her face. The only permission they had was photos from behind. So even nobody has been allowed to post photos of Carly's face as far as publicly on social media outside from what it appears now, her school. She goes to a private school and because she's involved in activities, her picture has been taken and shared on things related to her school stuff. So basically that's what's been leaked. A photo from a site that has something to do with her school. This is not the photo that was leaked, like people saying, oh, it's her social media photo. Like she's got a social media account, so it's fine. But this social media account that she has, it's not an Instagram, it's not a Facebook. It's literally it's for her school because she does track and things like that. So we saw the photo a while back. How long has it been since we've seen the photo? Maybe a month.
Month or two?
A month or two.
I mean, like well after the holidays and all of that. Like I'd say like maybe like a month or so.
Yeah, so like a month or so ago, y'all know how I told y'all I had a source reach out to me that verified some information. So that was one part of like the verification is they had updated photos of Carly. And I was like, oh, wow, photos that I've never seen before that I wouldn't know how they would get them. So that was one part of like this person verifying that they were who they were. There was other things that they did to verify that actually had to go through Catelynn because I didn't know like these things, Either way, the source that came to me, and I know for sure at least one other creator, and
not me.
Not Tippers. But this photo has been shown to other people in the background that we decided we're not sharing this photo. Like, why would we? Because Brandon and Teresa want Carly to be private. They have not wanted her photo to be shown. So even when we saw the photo, we were like, yeah, we're not posting this. It wouldn't make any sense to post this. So
It
many
wasn't
people.
even a sorry to cut you off, but it wasn't even a thought to me to post it. Like, if I'm already feeling like a lot of things are already public and knowing that her parents do not want her picture out in the public, I am not going to be the one to release that. Like, because I wouldn't want it done to me either.
And,
So,
so many people that are critical of Catelynn and Tyler, one of the things that they say is Catelynn and Tyler do not respect Brandon and Teresa and their boundaries. They keep Carly private. A lot of people that they bash Catelynn and Tyler for using Carly as a storyline and getting a payday off Carly. Now these same people are posting this picture to their pages.
and that's the thing, is that I'm one of those people, like, I'm sure you've seen some of my content maybe, where I have said that I feel like they shouldn't be talking about her as much on the show. I don't like that they use her name on the show and in their platforms, because they do profit off of it. They're making money off the show. They make money off social media posts or content. So why would I turn around and do the thing that I'm telling them not to do? Like, so I was shocked when I saw that today.
That's what did not make sense to me. Vodka Gal says, can Brandon and Teresa sue Catelynn and Tyler for this? It's not Catelynn and Tyler that leaked the photo.
Yeah, I don't. Can I? I have a thought. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you.
No,
so when my kids were in public school, they like certain grades had an Instagram account. So like you as parents, it was private, but you as parents could join that and you could see like what they're posting in school. So to think that her school has this page, somebody, whatever of those pages that leaked this, found this school page, like whether they were searching for it or came across it innocently. But that doesn't give them the right to share that, especially since it on top of it, it's a school. It even if it was her private account, it's just not right.
No.
And so like whether they came across it innocently or not, like, don't share it.
Right. Especially if, like you hold the opinion, like we both hold the opinion that Carly does expect privacy. And
yes, we do.
Yes. And, like even though we saw the photo like a month ago, we were like, yeah, we're not showing that. Like you said, it wasn't even a thought. We didn't even think about it until it got posted today. And we were like, what? Like,
you were
crap.
the first person I text, because I was just like, am I really seeing this right now? Like, and then the way that the page is responding to people is even more like.
And here's the thing. These pages that literally like straight up go at Catelynn and Tyler. They're like,
yes,
they need to shut up talking about Carly. They need to respect Carly's privacy. All they do is make money off Carly. Carly's nothing but a storyline for them. They need to respect Brandon and Teresa. Brandon and Teresa are her parents. Like if they don't want her name out there or her picture out there, they need to respect that, which I agree with all of those things. I agree with that page that says that. Like I agree. Catelynn and Tyler don't need to be mentioning Carly herself. If they want to educate people about adoption, I do think like at this point, they really need to like slow down on how much they say the name Carly. Because they get educated without constantly saying her name. So I hold those opinions too. But you can't hold those opinions. And then when you get a picture of her, post it on your platform where you're going to make a ton of money off of it. And you're mad at her.
Yeah.
You're mad. And you bash her bio parents for not respecting her privacy. But then you get this photo and you post it to your page.
And
it makes
I can only think that they just came across it too and instantly was like, I know exactly how I'm going to set the internet off today. And it being the end of the month is sus to me, because I'm like, oh, so you want to make some extra dollars at the end of the month quota. Okay. At the expense of what?
Carly's privacy that they're constantly preaching about and saying they, that Catelynn and Tyler don't respect, but here they are. They're not respecting it. So several teen mom pages has posted this, and I just want to say I don't have a problem with teen mom pages. Whatever.
Me either.
I don't have no issues with them. I may have issues after this because they may get upset with me, but I just feel like you cannot bash the bio parents for not respecting their privacy when you are not respecting this girl's privacy.
Yes.
And let me tell you, as somebody that is monetized on Facebook, like when I post a picture, I get paid if it gets a decent amount of engagement. And like these sites, the Facebook pages, the Facebook sites, I mean, the Teen Mom fan pages that have posted Carly's picture has got so much engagement in the short time that it's like literally one site posted it like an hour ago and it had over 700 comments.
Yeah.
Over 700 comments in an hour.
It was over 800 before I hopped on live with you. Yeah.
You know,
over 3,000 likes or reactions. And so I get monetized on TikTok. That's the only platform I monetize from. And obviously, you know, it's not a whole bunch of money, but nonetheless, you know, after you hit a certain number of views or engagements, you're going to profit. And as a creator, I know that because especially with TikTok, I don't know where the algorithm is going to take anything. I have videos that have, you know, over 1 million views. And then I have some that have like, you know, a couple hundred. It's very weird. So I'm very conscious about what I put out because I never know where it's going to go. And knowing that one of the main things Brandon and Teresa have always said is that they want her to have some level of privacy. I would never cross that line because as a parent, I respect that as a parent. Like I don't post my own children publicly. And if somebody came across my kids, like, you know, when I was talking about them in public school before I homeschooled, if they would have came across their picture and started sharing it, I would not be okay with that.
Exactly. Same. But, you know, I said that before we hopped on. I was like, you know, we are on these platforms to where we have like a decent following. Does that mean if our kids have a social media platform, if our kids are on Facebook, does that give some wackadoodle the right to like go find their page and then post pictures of our kids and say, well, they're on Facebook, so oh well.
I think some people have that mentality though, like, oh, well, you guys are already putting out content, which I am, but I'm talking about people that already are in the public more than what I am. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about my best friend or the person I live next to. And, you know, I'm talking about things that are put out on full public display for anybody to have. I mean, it's reality TV.
Right.
So
we are literally covering kids and adults that we're covering adults that are on TV, and we are covering the kids that these adults have put on TV and out in the public eye. We're not finding a celebrity and then finding their kid who they try to keep private and then putting their kid out there to the public. Like, no, even if we followed a celebrity and they did have a kid that they kept private, you're not going to find one of us going to dig to see who their kid is. And if their kid has an Instagram, say, well, here's their picture. Nobody knows what this kid looks like. Their mom is this celebrity. And we've always wondered what this kid looks like. And here's a picture of the kid. And when people say, whoa, the parents want to keep that kid private. Well, they're on TikTok. Well, they're on Instagram. Well, they're on Facebook. Doesn't matter.
I have a perfect example. Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik. They've never wanted I watch Real Housewives and her mom's Yolanda. And so anyways, and then not only that, but like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, like Mindy Kaling, and I'm pretty sure BJ Novak, but that's not a topic for they're from The Office.
Oh, I don't know them.
Oh, okay. But okay, Mindy Kaling, she was in she was in The 40-Year-Old Virgin. She was Paul Rudd's love interest. So she was on The Office, but like she has her kids private. Like I look at those people and I'm like, they have an even bigger platform than Catelynn and Tyler. So I wouldn't go out and look for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's kids and be like, oh, look, I got a picture, you know, like even if I don't align with them and I don't I'm not going to do that out of respect.
Exactly. And I want to be clear. Let's be clear. I see people coming in saying like, oh, Brandon and Teresa I saw this coming again, should sue Catelynn and Tyler. Catelynn and Tyler did not leak this.
They did not.
We don't know who leaked it. This was a photo that Catelynn and Tyler also saw about a month ago, because it was passed through to them in the background, because creators in the background was sent this photo from a source or something. And so all these creators already had the photo, and we all never thought about posting it because we
Never.
privacy.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I was stunned when I saw the pic. Like, don't get me wrong. And when I saw the picture, and I was like, you know, wow, this is what she looks like. You know, I'm like, she looks very similar to, you know, another one of their children. Like, that's crazy. But I honestly felt weird even having like seen it, because I'm like, I'm not supposed to see this. No.
yeah.
So I would have never shared it.
I was gonna say, didn't you say you deleted it? But I think there was somebody else that I talked to that seen it. They were like, I'm deleting it off my phone because I feel like I shouldn't even have it. So
I thought about
it. Was like, I'm deleting this off my phone because I feel like I shouldn't even have it. You know, and I'm like, I know, it's so crazy.
Yes.
So essentially what happened was this photo did get put out to creators. Nobody posted it. However, today, more than a month later, somehow somebody got a hold of it that posted it on a Team On fan page. At that point, not all the fan pages, but several other fan pages took the picture and posted other pages. And then people did more digging to find where the photo came from.
More.
And found more photos of Carly, literally photos that are not posted on like regular social media. It's just through her school. And
that's what's creepy to me. Like, it's an even like bigger level of invasion in a sense, because like you're creeping on her school's page to find pictures of her. Like,
exactly.
And you know what's funny is, like, I don't know if you ever get comments to like mind your business or why do you care and blah blah blah.
All the time.
But yet I might be talking about some of the stuff, but I don't go that far. Like, I'm not sitting there on my free time like, let me look up Carly's school Facebook page. Like, that is not like, just know that there is a boundary for me. Like, I have a boundary line, okay?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when it comes to these kids, like,
yes,
the second you tell me you're trying to live a more private life, like, okay, Mama June, Pumpkin, and Josh. So
okay, yeah.
Somebody came to me, you know, like they got a divorce, and somebody came to me and told me they're getting a divorce. The filing is public, like there it is. I broke the story about their divorce, and then I felt like, was that too much? Did I cross a boundary by doing that? It was going to come out on the show anyways, which then kind of made me feel like, oh, well, they were using it for television anyway, so it was going to come out.
But you were kind of on it before it was like out there. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Like, is that why you felt like maybe?
Yes.
That's kind of how I feel about Kale and Elijah's situation right now too.
It's like this may be too much. Like, this may be.
Yeah. Like, should I be saying anything?
I'm sure we think about that. I'm sure we think like, well, this is what we do, and they put their life out there. There has been times I've covered something, and then afterwards I'm like, wait a minute, maybe that was too much for me. Like, maybe, I mean, it happens sometimes, yeah. But after, I covered the divorce, Mama June leaked to TMZ that Josh was dating a girl that was pregnant. But she didn't tell TMZ that the girl wasn't pregnant by Josh. She just went to TMZ because everybody was on Pumpkin. Everybody was like mad at Pumpkin for ruining their marriage. So Mama June went to TMZ and was like, oh, well, y'all, like, Josh is already in a relationship and the girl's pregnant. So TMZ broke that story, and they're like, the source didn't say if the girl was pregnant by Josh. So everybody jumped on that. I was able to find out that she was not, like, it was not his kid, but it was actually Pumpkin's friend's kid. Either way, sometime later, I get a source that reaches out to me, and they say, Josh actually does have a baby on the way now. It's like months later, right? They send me the evidence. They send me the proof. They're like, here's the girl's name. Here's her pictures. Like, here's all this information, And I break the story that Josh does have a baby on the way now. Because I'm thinking, well, actually, the person that came to me was like, as soon as Mama June and them know they're going to sell this to TMZ, like, so here you have it first. So I actually told the story, and Josh messaged me and was like, me and Pumpkin are done. Like, we're going to co-parent, but I don't have a desire to like really stay in the public eye. And he was like, so I would appreciate it if like you do not cover my private business anymore. And I was like, well, if you're not going to be on the show, like, I'll give you that. If you're leaving the show, like, I mean, as long as you're on the show, like, I'll probably cover you. But if you desire to leave, and have a private life, then I will respect that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was like, I mean, if you're, I get that. Like maybe it was crossing the line for me to post that, but I was told that like Mama June, like as soon as she found out she was going to sell it to TMZ. So my apologies, you know. But yeah, he's like, no, I really want to live a more private life. Like you have no idea what I've went through with all of this stuff happening.
Yeah.
And I think he is going to be on the season, even though he told me that he was. And he was like, yeah, I don't plan to film anymore. Like I'm done with it. So I was like, well, if you're done with it and you like, I'll respect you in that. Like if you don't want to be, if you're not going to be on a reality TV show and you want to live a private life, then I'll respect that and I won't cover you anymore. And there's been things
For sure.
since then that I'm like, ooh, like when the girl posted their like announcement, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to touch that because I told him that I wasn't going to do that. So I didn't touch the announcement. But then the trailer came out and he is on the trailer. So I was like,
wait a minute.
You need to shut me up. But I will give you that. Like if you are somebody on TV, I'm going to cover you. Like if you're
exactly
your kids are on it, like, yeah, I might talk about your kids. It's not going to be in a negative way. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be bashing your kids, but if, you know, like when Kaiser got robbed at the park.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
We talked about that. Everybody
yes,
talked
we did.
You know, so I mean, but somebody that literally had no choice to be on TV because they were born into it through an adoption, but then they were adopted out to a family that a few years into it decided, listen, we had no idea it would go this far. And we do want a private life. We want our children to have private life. So please, like they, you know, they even went to Catelynn and Tyler. It was like, limit, you know, what you say. Don't read messages verbatim. Like, don't post pictures of Carly unless it's from behind.
For many times. It's not just like one time. And a lot of people excuse it. Sorry, I hope I didn't cut you off.
You're good. Go ahead.
A lot of people will be like, but they did an interview on TV and they did the Adoption Parent Team magazine. And I'm like, but that's when she was younger. Right. And I think that they were trying to set a different tone with adoption, you know, make it more normal, a normal conversation to like talk. And then I think that it got to be too much and they were like, the show's really blowing up, everything. Like, we really didn't want all this. We're okay with like normalizing the conversation, but we don't want this much exposure. And I feel like rightfully so.
Right. Yes.
Rightfully so.
Absolutely. Like I feel like they started the show. You know, I do feel like Brandon and Teresa were, so this is what I heard, that they did not know that they were going to be filming for MTV for a documentary until they got there. So they flew in to meet Catelynn and Tyler. They were told, oh, they're filming a documentary. Oh, and this couple actually wants like a semi-open adoption. And that's when they were told they wanted a closed adoption. Brandon and Teresa, what they wanted was a closed adoption, go in, adopt a baby, have that child, raise that child as their own.
Yes, and my thing is that I don't think that Dawn should have ever even handed off their information to Catelynn. Like, that should have already been like, okay, they're not going to see eye to eye. Although, I really see the compassion that Teresa had for Catelynn in those scenes. Like, I really felt that they did connect with them. Yeah. And I just think that they both had different ideas of what adoption was going to look like for the long run. And I do feel though that they should have never even been in with the other potential parents.
Right. Yes. I think Dawn set them up by giving them Brandon and Teresa's profile when she knew Brandon and Teresa were hardcore closed adoption and Catelynn and Tyler were not. Like, and then waiting. Yeah. Could you imagine, like, you were those parents that you've been going through this process of wanting to adopt and it's been months and months and months, and you get that call and you're like, we have a family, can you fly out? Because we have a young girl and her boyfriend who they don't have a good home life. They're definitely going to place their child up for adoption. Do you want to fly in and meet them? And you're like, oh my gosh, this could be it. And then you get there and you're thinking closed adoption. Like, Brandon and Teresa already had it set in their mind what they wanted this to look like, and they wanted it closed. But then they get there after probably a week or so of thinking this could be it. And then they're like, oh, by the way, they want a semi-open adoption. So at that point,
And they're on a TV show.
And you're on a TV show.
Well,
so at that point,
it was
they're
supposed to just be a
documentary.
one-off. But yes, I go on. Yes.
Yes, it was supposed to be it was supposed to be just like a documentary. So that's why they
True life.
I think Brandon and Teresa, from what I've heard and from what we've even watched, they're super like private people. Like I think
that's the impression I get.
Yeah. So this
reserved.
Was like, yes, reserved. So I think like them agreeing to this was really outside of their comfort zone, but they so badly wanted to adopt and thought, okay, well, you know what? We're here already. What are we going to do? Turn around and go home now? Let's whatever. We'll film this little whatever. And then I think they were so grateful for the adoption that they wanted people to see how good adoption could be. So they did continue on with being on the show for the first couple of years at the annual visits. They did do reunions and stuff like that. They did do the magazines or whatever. And I think they wanted, even though this was not how they initially planned their adoption to go, they wanted it to be closed. I think once they kind of got in this position with it not on their own accord, but because Dawn, in my opinion, Dawn kind of screwed everybody. They were like, you know what? This is where we're at. Let's just embrace it. And we can be kind of like, we can show people how great this can be and how you can get along with the bio parents. And, you know, I think because Catelynn and Tyler kind of did the same thing for the first few years after they placed Carly, they went off and did speaking engagements of how, you know, great adoption is, you know, so they all thought like, oh, adoption is a great thing. Like we're doing so great together until they weren't, you know? And then
and my perception is so different than yours. It's so funny. It's so funny. Because to me, like they had different views on what they wanted the adoption to be. We both agree with that. But I saw it more as that rather than them wanting a baby, that they felt a connection with Catelynn and Tyler that they may not have felt with other potential birth parents.
Yeah.
And so I think that they really like felt compassionate for Catelynn and Tyler in their circumstances and connected with them. And I think that's really with Dawn, I see her as just doing her job and trying to be a really good mediator, because she's even tried to like calmly talk with Catelynn and Tyler throughout the years with their grievances about everything. And I feel like she comes about it in a really calm and neutral place, whereas I feel like a lot of people think that she's solely on Brandon and Teresa's side, but I don't get that from her. But I do agree. It's all about the relationship with the adults. For instance, my husband has a cousin, the woman that she married, one of her daughters, she placed for adoption. And what was really cool is that all the adults came together and like they did co-parent her. She's like in her early 20s now, but she literally would go and spend weekends with her birth mother. And then she would be with her adopted family throughout the week. And they did that the whole time raising her. There's another family I know where they've adopted their daughter, and she's like 12. And they had a really close relationship. They lived in the same city. Her birth mother moved away recently, but they still stay in contact. And it's about really meeting each other where you're at. And I don't know if it's distance for Catelynn and Tyler and Brandon and Teresa, or just a difference of views and just life. But there's something there that keeps them all from meshing. And I think that's what it comes to. I think it's a lot of distrust on both ends.
Someone said you've been in contact with Kate a lot recently. Is that why you're becoming more biased on Carly being kept from them? I actually haven't been in contact with Kate or Tyler much. The first time I explained this on a lot of people have this like assumption that I talk to them a lot.
Really?
Yes, a lot of people's like somebody came in yesterday and was like, Kate and Tyler have you in their pockets. That's why. And I'm like, what is that?
Do they, Elle?
I'm like, are you saying
don't lie? No, just kidding.
Well, at first I thought they were saying they pay me. And I was like, are you saying they pay me? And they were like, no, just like they have you in their pockets where you can do whatever they want. And I'm like, Catelynn and Tyler have never asked me to do anything. The first time I ever talked to Tyler was, okay, I did a video where I said, after talking to this source who's giving me more information about Carly's life,
Yeah.
it changed my perspective on things a little bit, because I was
Mhm.
told by this source that this is not Carly's decision, that Carly's upset with this, that she's upset that they closed the adoption because she does really care for her bio family. And
I
she's
have
been
the exact opposite
opposite,
information.
and you exactly, and you have the
So I've been
opposite.
told that she is she does feel uncomfortable, and that they basically came to the decision together, and that she was able to voice her feelings about, and really the information I got was the breaking point was over the summer when they wanted a little bit of a break. Like that
Mhm.
wasn't just Brandon and Teresa saying that from what I've gotten. It was like Carly also kind of wanting like a moment to just take everything in. And then
Yeah,
it was like they kept contacting, and then it was kind of like basically you're not respecting our boundaries, so we need to do something more.
different. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
see,
that's
that's
that
what's so crazy, is because I don't know who your source is, you don't know who my source is, so
exactly.
I mean, it's so hard to know, like, well, what is going on here? Like, how do you have one person saying, "No, this is, so against what Carly wants, like, she's very upset about this," and then you have another person saying, "No, Carly did, like, she was included in this decision,"
Maybe it's
So it's
both,
so,
like a little bit of both. Maybe it's a little bit of both things.
well
Somewhere in the middle.
well, I don't think it could be, because I was told that she's completely against this, that she's, like,
Yeah.
super upset over this, that so I was told that she had gotten to the point, that Carly had gotten to the point where she was asking to go spend summers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she was like, "Can I go spend summers with them?" And they were very much against that, and that I was told that, Brandon and Teresa are very much against, like, Catelynn and Tyler's, like, political beliefs, and they have a big issue with,
Yes.
they're very different, that, like, Catelynn and Tyler, they're vocal about their beliefs. I mean, if you follow them on Instagram, like, Tyler posts a lot about even, like, the current administration, and,
See, my thing is, and I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry.
no, you're good.
But before I forget, my thing is though is that it just seems like a little petty. Like if that really is the case, it seems like why we all can have different views. So that to me is where I'm like, but is that really it? Because it just seems petty to me. But go on, go
Right.
on.
Yeah, and that's like why I'm like, what? Like, why would you, as her parents who have raised her, that be the reason you're gonna shut her down from the people that she's literally like wanting to go spend summers with now? Like, and I could see that being something that upsets you and being like, like, oh my goodness, like that states away. Like we can't send you off. Like if I had adopted a child and that child got to the point where they're like, "Can I go spend the summer with my bio?" I would be like, "Whoa, wait a minute,"
So
like,
I
"Oh,
can weigh
go."
in on this because I have been adopted.
Yes, you told
Uh
me that.
yes. So um where I relate to with Carly is that like my biological dad does a lot of talking for me and will tell people who I am, what I want, and but he doesn't know me at all.
Oh, yeah.
And well, like they do know her, but like I
Not
just
well. Yeah, not very
I
well.
don't
Not
like
well
being a
too.
what not when what?
Like Tyler, Caitlin and Tyler don't know Carly like Brandon and Teresa do.
Yes, and that's
Right.
my thing is that, and so, and I also did not like when my bio dad, whatever, would talk about my mom and my adopted dad. Like he would say all these nasty things about my adopted dad, but he was doing nothing on his end. Like, my situation is obviously different,
Right.
but I
It's very
also
different.
know what it's like to be the child, and like it's almost like everybody else is narrating for you and you're sitting there like, but that's not what I feel, but that's not what I feel, so you know
Yeah. Yeah,
and
it's
I
so hard to know because we don't know. Carly has not been on TV since she was like, what, 5? And always what we saw from her then, yeah,
I
was
think younger than that.
younger than that. Was she
I
did
think
seem like
younger.
really all about Caitlin and Tyler then. And I'm still told that but if my source is not correct in what they're saying, which is what led me to like, because I was more on like Brandon and Teresa's side, you
Yeah.
know, first. But then when I talked to that source, and then I started listening to TikToks of adoptees, bio parents, birth
Mhm.
parents, and it caused me to lean a little bit more toward. I still hold the belief, though, that the best idea for them is to not text Brandon and Teresa. Don't message them. Don't send anything. If you
My
want them
thing is that they've been inconsistent. And it's been documented on the show where like Dawn's like, hey, have you reached out to ask, how her school year's going, or if she's in any extracurriculars, or just like checked in? And they're like, well, no. So I don't understand how they went from not being very consistent to all of a sudden being like, I have to message her. Like, where did it go from like, to all of a sudden like full?
probably, maybe this is just probably a thought that I'm having. Maybe when Teresa and them started pulling away more, and which wouldn't mean that it's right, but if they thought, oh, we're good with them, we'll check in every once in a while, to when then they're like the few times they are checking in, Teresa's not responding. And then it's like, wait a minute, why isn't she responding? We can't get a response from her now all of a sudden. So now we need to do more because she's not responding to us. Maybe when they felt them pulling away, they were like, well, we need to stay on top of this because they're not responding. Something's up with this. Are we losing the ability to have a relationship with them? Which not.
I
I mean,
also felt though that like in their messages that they did share, there really wasn't much leading for Carly or Teresa to respond with. It was like, oh, Nova got a lizard. She's so happy. Look, we're in California and it's really hot right now. Like, where, I'm sorry, but as like the child, where is like, hey, what are you up to? Do you have a summer job? What are you
yeah,
planning to do this summer? Do you have any like, that's where I get bothered by it, because you're wanting to say you want this like relationship with her, but then like where's the effort into it? And that's how I feel even like with Amber, Portwood, and Leah. Like, where is your effort? And then people were like, I got this comment that was like, you're just a professional hater. Do you want them to reach out to Carly or not at all? And I was like, there's balance. You can't go from being inconsistent, and especially for a child, like if you're not gonna be consistent with my child, like I'm gonna be a little hesitant, because you can't just be popping in and popping out and popping in and popping out.
right.
Like, so I think I just see it from a whole different perspective. But I appreciate people's perspective, like what you have, where maybe you're more supportive of Catelynn and Tyler and on their side than maybe what I am. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you you're wrong.
Right.
So I'm okay
Yeah.
with hearing other opinions.
Right. And we talked about it in the background before, like that I mean,
Hmm.
we think it's kind of funny that like it's like, oh, we're friends, but we still have very different opinions when it comes to this topic. Other
Yes,
topics,
we do.
one of the ones that we do have a different opinion on, which it is what it is, and but a lot of the reason for that is because we have these outside sources that's telling us two different things, which makes it hard.
Yes.
Well, what do you like? I don't know who your source is. You don't know who mine is. I don't know how much. Like you don't know if my source is even like confirmed, like validated that they even know what they're talking about. So it's far as
Exactly.
like, well, how do I know your source is true? How do I know your source is true? Like, so, and two, a lot of times our own opinions will come into play, like you being adopted. And
Yeah.
my are not adopted, but my older two kids have been raised by my husband. And it
Okay.
is so annoying when I see my older two kids' dad steal a photo of me and my husband's Facebook page of the kids. And he posted on his page, like, oh, my son looking just like me. And I'm like, that was an event you were not even at.
You haven't seen the kid in like 5 years. What are you talking about? Like what?
It's so
Yeah.
it's irritating when you and that annoys me. Like I will literally get on Facebook and I'm scrolling and I see my older kid's dad show a picture of one of my kids to an event like we told him about, but he didn't even care to show up at. And but it makes it look like he was there to the public, and then the public,
Facebook has to think that he was there and he's an active parent. So then when you like see people in real life and you're like, he wasn't even there, they could be like, but it was on Facebook. And you're thinking like,
that was my
but he
picture he
still
saw.
wasn't there.
Right. Like it's so that is very like irritating where because Brandon and Teresa are the parents that know her. They know her better than anybody.
Yes.
So if she is sitting around in the background watching this and maybe hearing Catelynn and Tyler, you know, say things about maybe what they think she might feel or how she might feel, or especially if she's sitting around in the background listening to it, and if she is feeling the way that you are hearing that she may be feeling, that I could understand how that could be annoying, to be like, y'all don't know me well enough to know how I'm feeling,
Yeah. And
and I
already
get
being a teenager on top of it, you know what I mean? Like, teenagers already have a rough time, and then add everything else into it with that. And I just can't even imagine. It was a lot to take in for me. And I was, 9 years old by the time my adopted dad adopted me. But still, like,
Mhm.
taking all of it in, it was a lot. Because I felt like an oddball, especially among my peers. Most of them had their parents, or their parents were divorced, but they still spent time with their parents, whereas I didn't. It's a weird time.
See, I've heard adoptees say that, but the adoptees that I'm listening to, they are like full blown adopted, like mom and dad are not blood
Mm-hmm.
related, and they say that they felt like the eyeball out in their family, like they may have had a sister that was blood related to the parents, and they were adopted. So that's like something that like adoptees will go through, I guess.
I
It's
have
like,
seen a lot of people. Like, I had a friend in high school. Her mom thought she could not have kids. So they didn't have her till she was like in her they were in their 40s, but they adopted two siblings because, they wanted children. And
mhm,
so they went through her brother and sister went through hell with their birth parent, like a lot of abuse, a lot of neglect, mistreatment. So like her sister remembered it. She was older. So then they had my friend, and she became the golden child, honey. She did no wrong. That was their like. So I have seen situations like that, but then I've also been around situations where, like, one of my best friends, her aunt is adopted, and she felt no different. Like,
yeah,
she did not, and she's also a black woman, whereas all of her siblings are white, and she still did not feel treated she actually felt like she got better treatment than some of the others. So it's
really,
such a big spectrum. Yes, I know so many adopted people. My dad that adopted me is adopted, and his sister is adopted. So it's like I have such a full spectrum of different
yeah,
stories and different, lifestyles, that I feel like that's maybe also why I have those feelings I do.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, please don't put down anybody that's addicts. Like, we don't put down addicts in the chat. Like, let's everybody be nice. Listen, we can have different opinions and talk about them respectfully. I'm kind of seeing the chat where people's like not doing great in the chat. You guys, please be respectful in the chat.
I
Everybody
can't
needs to
see
go
the
ahead and
chat.
um,
Oh my.
so please just be respectful. But that's why I feel like now I see why Catelynn and Tyler want to educate just on adoption, because it's not
And I
so.
hope they do. I want them to, like, go to the state house. I truly want them to do that. Like, in all of the shit
Okay.
talking I might do, I truly want to see them actually do more than sit around and just talk about it. I want
Okay,
to see
see, that's
action.
what I was gonna ask you, because, um, all I've ever heard is adoption is great, adoption is love, adoption, great things. The first time I ever heard adoption is trauma was Tyler said it on an Instagram Live, and he's like, "Adoption is trauma, you guys." Like, me and Caitlin have trauma. The adoptees usually have trauma. The birth parents have trauma because a lot of, or the adoptee parents will have trauma because a lot of adoptee parents can't have their own children, so they deal with that infertility and that's trauma they're dealing with, and they think that by adopting it's going to like fill that void of them not being able to have their own biological child, but it
I
doesn't
kind
a
of
lot.
disagree.
Well, what
I
I was
disagree
saying
with
was,
that in a
well, just
sense. Go on. Sorry.
the simple fact that like it does it, okay, so the only thing that I was thinking was like, wow, I've never thought about that. I've always thought
Mm-hmm.
adoption was great. So when he said that and he started talking about these things about like, the bio parents have trauma, adoptees will have trauma. Not all adoptees, but some will. Adoptive parents will have trauma. Not all adoptive parents, but some will. And then I started listening to some on TikTok. Like, there's this one girl on TikTok that she is an adoptee mom, and she had to do the work because she said she dealt with a lot of trauma due to infertility. And she thought by
Mm-hmm.
adopting her child that it would like fix it. She was like, oh, I can't have a kid, but as soon as I can adopt, I'm good. I'll be a parent. It'll take over that void. She was like, and it didn't. And then I went through the struggles of being like depressed because it didn't fix it. So I've talked about like, okay, so that's why I think the education is good, because a lot of people like me never heard anything other than adoption is great. So like how many 15, 16-year-olds out there have only heard that adoption is great? Like, oh, if I get pregnant, I can't raise my child. Adoption is great. I can put my child up for adoption and there will be no trauma. Great things will happen. My baby will be raised. Like maybe I can still have a relationship with the child if we do open adoption. Maybe I don't have to if I don't want to deal with that. And I had no idea that open adoption is not legally enforceable in most states. I had no idea. So that's why I think education is good.
Education is good, but I also want them to also look at the spectrum of generations. So like when my adopted dad, he's 62 or whatever. So he's never found his biological family, but his sister has found hers. And it all went great. But back in those days, some women were encouraged to place their child for adoption if you could not, and whoever's opinion thought you could not afford to be a parent, they would encourage adoption. So a lot of the times in like, the 50s and 60s, so it's a little cringy when you look into it. As we've gotten into more modern times, it has gotten a little bit better. Now, a lot of people focus on, oh, you're buying a baby, right? But the different steps that an adoptive parent has to take, like it costs money. It costs money to do the counseling, to do the background checks, to do
a bunch of steps, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You have to go through like a bunch of steps to adopt.
Oh
right?
my gosh. It takes like a couple of years to get approved, because they do a house inspection, you do like counseling services, marriage counseling, because they want to make sure that whatever child is getting placed, like you're in a good like a solid marriage, that adopting a child's not going to like cause a divorce or something. Then you're also paying for like the hospital and the mother's like your after your post-birth like checkup. So, and then obviously there's a fee because Dawn is not working for free.
Right.
Yes, it all is trauma. Life is trauma. That is correct. Yes, that is correct.
That's a good one. It definitely is.
Life is totally trauma. Yes, we got to deal with the cards. Yes. But my thing is that Catelynn and Tyler were very set on adoption. If you go back to the 16 and pregnant episodes, like Tyler did not want to be a teen dad. I think it terrified him, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. You know what? I think, and I don't think he noticed this, but I think he saw his dad, and I think probably subconsciously he worried that he couldn't be a good dad because of his dad.
I think so. And I did, I am not sitting here pro Butch, okay? But I did like the advice that he gave Tyler. He was like, look, I've shown you what not to do. So you already know what not to do. I think you could be a dad,
Definitely showed him what not to do.
Yeah, he sure did. And I feel that April and Butch were not wrong and how Tyler and Catelynn were going to feel later in life. They knew that they would regret it.
I agree, but like when I look back and I watch their clips, I'm like, I would have never taken advice from those two.
I know. Okay,
there's no way I would have. I mean, a clock's right twice a day. So if it's wrong the other whatever many times, you're gonna be like, I'm not taking advice from you. And gosh, when you watch those clips back,
I get it.
Even when she's trying her dress on, like, and just because.
Girl.
Just because April didn't like the same dress that April, like they didn't like the same dress, and she literally starts like going like so mean.
I think that was more because she was upset that Catelynn went through with the adoption, and I think that's why she treated Catelynn so awful, is because she wasn't addressing her own stuff, and she was totally projecting on Catelynn and like made Catelynn the enemy for choosing adoption. And so, because I look back and I'm like, she looks great in all those dresses.
Yeah, I thought so.
She looked great. One of the ones that she said was super ugly, I was like, that's actually really cute. I can't remember which one it was now, but I feel that April was more projecting her own issues on Catelynn. It was just trying to get under her skin and be mean, and that's exactly what she did. I would
Yeah.
never do that to my daughter,
I
ever.
know. I'm like, if my daughter felt like our house was not a safe place to bring our child, I would do everything in my power to make her feel like it was. But if she still felt like she had to take her out of adoption, then I don't know. I just would feel like, oh my goodness, my child just went through something super traumatizing. So I need to be even more
Exactly.
so be there for her rather than being like, I'm going to be the biggest butthole ever to this kid because she did something I didn't want her to do, you know? It was,
But you're an emotionally healed person. You know what I
yes,
mean?
I
Like
would
that
make
is
up for the most
such,
part.
that's a big difference, honey.
True,
So like,
true.
you know, like
Yeah, they
you're
did
coming
say
from a
they
more,
changed their minds. They did say, I don't know if you saw this, but they talked about one of their podcasts that there was a moment they changed their mind about the adoption, but it wasn't
see, I
filmed.
knew about that. I knew about that one. I do.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until I heard the podcast. I heard the
Okay.
podcast where they said that there was a moment that they
It
changed
was
their
like the
mind.
last 2 weeks of her pregnancy that she was like, because that's why April came into the hospital with a gift. If you watch the footage, she has like a gift bag because
Well, you know what? I did
she
see
thought that
they were going to
they
keep
were
it.
keeping her. Yes.
Wow, that's. I mean, I have to imagine that's an emotional roller coaster to go on for everybody involved.
Everybody.
Um, and you know what's so crazy is like I look back because I've watched their episode probably in the past year 10 times. Just from getting clips and to go back and be like,
Yeah.
what was said here? What was said there? Why did this happen here? I've literally watched it in the past year, I bet 10 times.
Oh my
And
gosh.
every time I have that feeling that, like, wow, they were literally really courageous to do this. Like,
I
they
think
really,
so too.
in their moments, they thought they were putting Carly's well being and her chances of having a normal, stable life, even if that's what they thought at the moment, even if whatever. If they don't think that now, that's what they were definitely
I
doing then.
want them to go back to that because I want them to get to a place of healing, though. That's really what
Yeah,
I wish for them, Elle. I wish for them to come to a place where they look back and they were like, it's very painful that I made that choice, but it was the best for her because she did get a better life that we couldn't provide at the time. And
right.
everything that they wanted from the potential parents. I mean, Brandon and Teresa have marked off everything on that list, if we're being honest. For what they were
Yeah,
looking for at that time, that is what they have gotten. And I just want them to come to peace with that so they can heal. I feel
yeah,
like it's weighing especially Catelynn down,
sure.
and I hate seeing that for anybody. Like I can talk again all the crap I want to and share my opinions, but at the end of the day, it is sad to see how broken her and Tyler are and like how unhealed they are. And I just wish that for them. I wish for them to come to a place of
Yeah,
peace and healing.
yeah. Somebody put in Carly's full name, and I know that it's out there already. I know they've talked about it on the show, but just for the sake of somebody not knowing, there being like a crazy person in the chat that wants to go dig into Carly and they don't know her whole name, let's not post it in the chat because literally just today there's people digging into Carly's school to find pictures of Carly, and that's what we don't
Let
want.
her be.
Yeah, please let her be. We're not going to show the picture here out of respect for her parents who do want her to stay
Mhm.
private. We're not sharing the photo. We're not sharing her whole name. Yes, it may be on the show, but we're not, because literally today people's digging into everything to try to find more pictures of her and they're posting them. So
How
we
would
don't.
you feel if that was your child? Like, that's what I want to say to everybody that's out there. Like, I'm not trying to be rude either. I'm just saying, like, if that was your child, would you want everything leaked out? Like,
Right.
I understand they're on a show and they talk about it, but like, let her live quietly and in peace. They don't want her in the public.
Right.
We got to
And
respect it.
this was brought to Tyler's attention, and I'll read to you guys what he said. Um, this was shared on Instagram. Team Mom Chatter on Instagram shared this. Um, so Team Mom Chatter, I guess that's what it was, messaged Tyler and said, do you want the picture of Carly and Teresa? And he said, I saw it about a month ago. but I don't want to post it out of respect of Brandon and Teresa because they want to keep her off social media. But thank you. And then someone said, "Hey Tyler, I just wanted to let you guys know this. Someone messaged me that Carly's information was leaked. I won't be sharing it out of respect, obviously, to her and y'all's arrangement to keep her private." So Tyler has been made aware that this information has been leaked. He has not posted it, and he says he's not going to post it.
I hope he at least like shuts it down and tells people to like back off it. Like it, I feel like, you know, he may have his content seen before, you know, this live or something where we're saying this, but I hope that he addresses it and is like, you know, I understand that her information has been leaked, but out of respect for her parents, like, please pretend that you never even saw it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And someone said you never know someone's intentions behind the screen. Your intentions may be like, oh,
100%.
I just want to know what Carly looks like. Like that may be your intentions. Like, oh, we haven't seen her since she was 5. I just want to know what she looks like. And then you may let me share this for other people that's curious as to what she looks like. But there will be that somebody on there that's not their only intention. Their intention will be something crazy. So like, I
Yep.
mean, like a while back, someone found a picture of Teresa that had like her work information on there, like a phone number to her work and email to her work,
Doxter.
and literally on my Facebook page. Like they literally in where I was talking about like Catelynn and Tyler in the situation, somebody literally found Teresa's photo with her email and a phone number to her work, and they posted
Unhinged. That is unhinged. Like,
yeah.
I'm a curious person by all means. Like, I will ask the craziest questions just out of curiosity. Like, I just want to know. But
I know.
I know that there's a limit. Like, you got to be self-aware enough to be like, okay, this is taking it too far, and that is taking it too far.
Mhm.
Especially knowing
Exactly.
the circumstances that they don't want her out publicly.
Yeah. Heather
But
said, but
why
why
would
would
they approve
anyone
pics on the school website? Don't they? Probably not. They wouldn't think that people are going to search for her school. I don't think that that's something that would cross my mind either. Just because she
no.
attends the school, you know.
And a lot of schools have, like all of my kids' school have a page where they post photos, and at the beginning of the year, you usually get a form where you have to select if your kid's picture can be on,
Yes.
in their stuff. And they probably, well, first off, I think Teresa works at her school, so she probably said okay because she works there, so it's like not a big deal.
And they
But for me,
probably take more pictures of staff children than other children because you're employed there and like, you know what I mean? Like I could see a school using more of the employee children than regular.
right, yeah, absolutely. And two, like I don't think the name of her school's ever been released. Like all we've ever known is she goes to a private school. So
Yeah.
I have
Some
never
people think
seen
she's
them.
homeschooled. So there's
I've
some
seen
people think that she never even leaves her house and she's sheltered. So
yeah, I've seen
yeah.
people say it.
Yep.
Yep. So at this point, the reason we wanted to hop on though is because we saw that people were sharing this photos, the photo, and even more photos got posted on these pages in the comment section. And if you were one of these pages that shared them, maybe you did it without thinking about it. Maybe you were just like, oh, here's a picture of Carly. Let me post it. And you really didn't think too much into what you were doing. But really, if you go after Catelynn and Tyler for not respecting her privacy, then you just did the exact same thing that you go after them for. So
Hypocrisy.
yeah, I would advise people to just take it down. I know everybody's curious about what Carly looks like, but she's not a public figure. She's not Caitlin and Tyler's legal child. Yes,
Nope.
she's their biological child, but they put her up for adoption. Yes, if they would have kept her and they would have stayed on the show, yep, she probably would be on the show and we would know what she looks like, whatever. But that's not what happened. She has
Nope.
parents, Brandon and Teresa, and their desire has been for her to be private. So I would just ask any page that did post photos of Carly, especially if you have attacked Brandon and Caitlin and Tyler for not respecting Brandon and Teresa's wish for her to be private, then you should probably take it down. She's a minor child. She did not ask to live
Take it
in the part
down.
of her life. Take it down. Yeah. You don't have
Take it
to,
down.
but that would be my suggestion. Because another thing too is these sites are going to make money off this, and everybody gets mad at Caitlin and Tyler saying they're profiting off Carly's name and they're using her for a storyline, and if you're a site that has said that and now you're about to get a big paycheck off this one picture, just think about that. Just think
If
about
I'm not doing it, you guys don't need to do it either, okay?
right. If we're not doing it, you guys don't have to do it. Like,
Right, like I mean, I'm one that does say that. That's why I will never do that. Like I can't even imagine the audacity to feel that that was okay, and then to respond back, well, it's on a public, page, so if you know what you're doing, you can find it, blah blah. Like that doesn't justify sharing that publicly. If you came across it, keep it to yourself. Keep it to your, like, you don't need to share it on your platform that is going to get a lot of attention, and then you're going to make money off of it after you've just bashed Catelynn and Tyler for doing the same thing. You're no better.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, that's kind of why we wanted to get on here, because when we saw all these pages posting it, we were like, what?
Yeah.
Like, then we're like realizing these are the same pages that literally have a hard go at Catelynn and Tyler for not respecting her privacy. So then we were like, dude, we're going to actually do a video and talk about this. Like, we're going to say that, like, we're going to talk about, like, you can't call them out and then do this yourself and make money off her photo. Somebody said this looks like this looks like a selfie. I think, from my understanding, there was an event, like a
recital or performance or
yes, it was
something,
like
maybe
a ceremony or something that they took a photo and it went up on the school website.
Again, Teresa works there, so therefore her being staff, that's not only a photo of a staff member, but also a student. So it makes sense that they would do whatever to post it. But that doesn't make it right for anybody to take it.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, I'm just shocked. And
I am too.
I think somebody said it had like over 1,000, and that's just on one page. It had over 1,000 comments on one page earlier. I'm actually curious at how many it's got now. Let me see. Y'all hear it raining at my house?
It's supposed to rain here. Right now, it's just really windy.
It's raining. Okay, it's got 5,000 reactions. It's got over 1,000 comments, and it's got 214 shares.
Good grief. I knew it was going to blow up. I knew people were going to, and some of the comments in there, they are saying what we are saying. Like, you should not have done that. She's a minor. And then there's others that are like loving life right now to see a picture of Carly as, a teenager. So, yeah.
One response was, well, she's on social. This come from her social media account. So if she's on social media, then she should know people's going to get a hold of these pictures. But it's not even a Facebook. It's not an Instagram. It's not a TikTok. It's literally a page from like her school stuff. And even if she did have a Facebook, I don't care. Like, my older kids have a Facebook, and if somebody went and dug through my kids' Facebook page and posted them on a freaking fan page, I would be upset about that, because I might be out here to the public, but my kids are not. And just because my kids may have we're not famous, but like people that have a platform that maybe post videos that have viewers or whatever, like their kids are not allowed to have Facebook now all of a sudden because somebody could find it. That's so not fair.
No, don't drag my kids into it. Like, exactly. I am who I am. Just because those are my children, you don't have to bring them into it.
I had something happen a while back when I was having like a lot of beef with this other creator. She that shall not be named. One of her like big supporters, her name was Tammy. I'll name the supporter. Tammy literally went to my Facebook page, my private Facebook page, found a picture of my daughter, who at the time was like 10, and commented under the picture, "Your mom is a backstabber." Under a picture of my daughter, who's like 10 at the time. And I'm like, Tammy,
oh my gosh.
All I know is you are like a big time supporter of another creator who I don't get along with. I literally do not know you personally, so I don't know how I ever backstabbed you or anybody else that you even know. And now here you are under my private Facebook page, under pictures of my child at 10 years old, telling my child that I'm a backstabber. Like, what the heck?
like, even if you got under that person's skin and everything, like, you don't need to take it there. Like, who cares if I got under your, like, it's crazy to me what people will do just because whatever you say bothers them. Like, how unhinged they can become just over your opinion. And it's like, you are not mentally stable, are you? Like,
Right. Yeah. Like if you can get that upset because you support a creator and me and that creator don't get along, whatever, then you take the time out of your day to find my private Facebook page. You comment
mm-hmm.
under my kids to tell my kid about me. Like that's, you need to check yourself. Like,
Exactly.
you need to check yourself. Yeah. That's insanity. Like it doesn't matter that much. Like it really does not matter that much. Like I have to remind myself that sometimes. Like, there's certain people that I do feel the need to like defend at times. But
Mm-hmm.
when somebody's like coming back, I'm like, you know, it really does not matter. Like, this is not my life. Like, I don't have to defend them. Like, I have my point of view. They can have their point of view. It is what it is. At the end of the day, like me trying to tell this person my point of view and maybe to try to change their opinion, like, who cares? Like, oh, if I change one person's opinion out of like the 5,000 other million, whatever, like, who cares? You know, it's not that big of a
Exact.
deal.
That's how I am too. That's why I
Yeah.
always say in my TikToks, I'm like, disclaimer, these are just my thoughts and opinions. It's just TikTok. It is not that deep. Because it's like, some people think that you take that into your personal life. Like, no, after I record my video and I like get my opinion out, I got other things to do. I got kids to
Right.
take care of, pets to take care of, a husband. Like, I just do this because I have nobody else to talk to about these things. Because if I
Mhm.
talk to my husband, he's just like, okay. Like,
That's why I started like I started doing like makeup when I first started because I like dabbling in
girl,
makeup.
me too.
Really? What? No, I didn't know
Same,
that. I knew that.
yes.
I actually knew that you started with makeup. You do really good at makeup. But yeah,
Oh,
like
thank you.
I was like 2 months into it, and Janelle lost custody of her kids. So I remember like reading the articles, and I'm just like so mad about what's happening. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna record a video and post it on my makeup YouTube channel that literally has like 60 followers.
Right.
And I've gotten like 30 views on each video. So I recorded the video about David and Janelle losing custody, and I uploaded it. It's like midnight when I finally get it uploaded, and I go to bed and I wake up the next morning. It has like over 1,000 views, and none of my videos had gotten like over like 30 views. I don't know, like
Right. I know the feeling, girl. I got you. I
oh my
know.
god! And it's like over 1,000 views. And I have like over 300 followers all of a sudden, and I'm like, oh my
I
goodness! Like,
blew
yeah, I'm viral. You're not famous. Like I literally was like, oh my goodness. And then I was like, this is so cool though, because while I do like playing in makeup, I also really love Teen Mom. Like I watched it from day one, and I've never had
Me
anybody
too.
to talk about it to. I've never had, you know, like I would talk to my husband, but he, whatever, like not a big deal. He really didn't know too much what I was talking about. So he would just listen and be like, oh yeah, you know. So then when that happened, and I wake up the next day and I'm reading all the comments, and people like, then I'm like in the comments, like we're like having the whole discussions, and then I have this
Yeah.
community of people that we can talk about these things too. But at the end of the day, when I get off, I've had my fill of it, you know, and then I go hang out with my kids and I move on to the next whatever going on in life or the next story
That's what
that I'm
I
making,
do.
you know, like it's not, yeah, I'll be off in a minute. Um, but yeah, so people, it's so funny when they're like, mind your business. And I'm like, why do you know what I respond back to them when they tell me to mind my business?
What do
Mind
you
yours.
say?
I say, mind
Ooh,
yours.
mind yours.
Why don't you mind yours? Like somebody literally was like, why are you so somebody commented on my Facebook page just the other day, why are you so invested in what these people do? Do you know them? Are you related to them? And I said, do you know me? Are you related to me? Then why are you so invested in what I'm doing? Right?
Exactly. Like, what you worried about what I'm doing?
Yeah. So I think it's really funny when people tell me to mind my business. The other day I did a response video on TikTok, and I was like, to be quite honest, this is my business. Like it's called Elle Bee Media, reality TV gossip, and I get paid for this.
Yes.
This is like legitimately my business. Like this is what I get paid to do now. It's like talk about reality TV stars on social media, and I get paid to do it. So this is 100% my business.
It
But
made
if you
me
tell me to
think,
mind my business, you mind yours.
for real though, like, don't worry
Mhm.
about me, worry about yourself. But why, when
Mhm.
you just said it's my business, why'd I think back to the scene with Jeremy and Leah and the Mary Kay? And she was like, I just invested like $9,000 in my business. And he was like, so Mary Kay is your business?
I don't
Do you
remember
remember that?
I do know their whole like relationship was crazy with her spending money. And she was also like in the throes of addiction during that time too.
Oh,
Her
she sure was.
yes. Their
Yeah,
relationship was a whole man. That was a bad situation because he was gold so
bad.
much. She was in the middle of addiction and blowing money like left, right, and center. Because at that point, according to what she said in her book, she was like taking care of her family a lot too. Jeremy was
Yep.
making a lot of money. She was making a lot of money on the show, but she was literally like spending money on you know what, as well as like taking care of a lot of her.
And for her dad.
Mm-hmm.
She was supporting her habit and her dad's. And her dad is the one that got her like hooked on it. And
Yes.
what really took off was like the pain that she had from having Addie, the epidural going in wrong or whatever it was. And then she just like didn't know how to live with the pain other than, taking a pill for it. But what I didn't like about Jeremy is that he left her at her absolute lowest. Like, you made
Same.
vows to her. And then you're going to be, well, the wife I married ain't the wife I got now. Okay, go home and try to work on that rather than going and hanging out with Chelsea and Cole and their
And
producer.
producer.
Ah!
Yes. Yeah, I thought that was pretty, yeah, like selfish too. Like you find out that this is going on with your wife, whatever, and she's going off to get help. I can understand being hurt, but I would probably be like, I'm gonna give you a second chance just to see, like, I mean, you got a kid by this woman at this point, and she just gave up very quick. I feel like he
He
gave up very
did.
quick. Yeah.
And I didn't like that because honestly, I didn't get that impression of him. But I mean, even now in present, like some of the stuff that he has done in recent years, even, it's like, I can't even imagine what she's dealing with behind closed doors.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that him and his girlfriend, like, showed up at her job acting foolish,
Yes.
like, yelling and acting foolish and demanding that she come out, whatever, like,
I
could you
felt so
imagine?
bad for her.
You know how obsessed Jeremy is with his job, like, how he chooses his job over everything? Could you imagine if Leah and
That's his
her
whole personality is his job. So yeah,
exactly.
you know.
Could you imagine, like, if when Leah was dating, Jay, was his name Jay? If, like, they would've just popped up at Jeremy on a work site, like,
Wait, which one was that?
that's the guy that, they broke up because, we really don't know why they broke up, but they did okay, Jay was the guy that she did all the photo shoots with,
Oh,
and he proposed to her.
Jalen.
Jalen, yes. Jalen, yes.
Okay, sorry. I was like, wait, who's Jay? Okay, I'm with you now. Yes. Okay.
Okay. But could you imagine, like, somebody like he would be livid if Leah and
Livid.
one of her guys popped up at his job, demanding to talk to him. He would be like, "Dude, this is my job. Like, what the heck are you
Oh,
doing?"
for sure.
And even more so, like, her job is at a restaurant where there's people standing around, and he made a fool of, like, her, him, everybody.
I felt so bad for her. Like, she looked literally like you could tell by her body language that she was so uncomfortable. And like, I kind of feel like she's such a non-confrontational person as it is. Like, for him to do that to her, really.
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely a non-confrontational person. Like, that was so uncalled for, and I'm glad that the cops got called because I think he didn't think that she would do anything, like, that they could intimidate her and the cops wouldn't be called, so I'm glad that they did.
Didn't her manager step in? I thought that her manager was like the one. I didn't think that she called. I thought her manager was like, this
Yeah,
person's up
her
here
manager
harassing my
somebody called.
employee.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, somebody called, but I'm glad that the call was made because honestly, if it would have been up to Leah, she might not would have called. And I think that's what they were like. They didn't think that she would do anything. Like, oh, we'll show up and we'll bully her at her job and we'll demand whatever, and she's not going to do anything about it. But because somebody else was there, that was like, no, not on my watch or not. Call the cops. And then
And
there was a
thank God.
restraining order. Yeah, thank God. Anyways, you guys, we've been on for over an hour, which is always
Yes,
good.
we have.
Always love doing these lives, hanging out with you.
Mm.
But yeah, I think we just want to reiterate before we close this. If you have the picture of Carly, we're not showing it. It's out there. Do not go digging into Carly's life. Just because she may be on social media somewhere does not mean it needs to be posted and plastered everywhere. Just have respect for the fact that she is she's a child. She's literally 16 years old.
Not even.
Not
Not
even.
even. Just barely.
Let me see. 2009. They had her in 2009.
Yeah, so she'll be 16 in like April or May. I forgot when her birthday is exactly, but I know it's like I think it's in May. So
if she's not yet, it's coming up soon.
Coming up.
Yeah, and just put yourself in Brandon and Teresa's position, or just ask yourself, would you be okay with somebody finding a picture of your kid and posting on social media that has hundreds of thousands of followers and that page making money off of it? Like, that doesn't really make sense. And if you're on one of those pages, I would just ask you to reconsider what you're doing. Think about it and think about how you've talked about Catelynn and Tyler for disrespecting Brandon and Teresa's wishes to keep Carly private, and now you're posting their picture. Did you see Kale is hosting Farrah on her podcast? I saw that.
I did not. What?
Yes. Kale has Farrah on her podcast. Let me see if I can find the picture.
Barely Famous?
I think so.
Okay. She has so many podcasts. I don't. Which one, you know?
I know. I think it's Barely. I took a picture of it, but let's see.
That'll be an interesting. I might tune in. I might tune into that.
Especially considering Kale is such good friends with Tyler and Catelynn.
Oh, yeah. And everything that Farrah has been recently saying.
Yes.
I used your, what you put on Facebook the other day because you broke down like the CPS thing that she was trying to do.
Oh, did you?
I did. So, yeah, I used that in my video, just so you know.
Okay. I don't care.
I gave you credit, so, you know.
Yeah, that's all I ever ask. You know what? The only thing that bothers me is when people, like, I'll make a picture or something and people much bigger platforms, or I will record a video and much bigger platforms will take that video and that picture and post it on their page and don't even say, like, this came from Elle Bee. Which, I mean,
I've seen that happen to you. I'm like, wait a minute. I swear Elle posted this first. Like, why are you not? I just give the credit. We all kind of use each other's stuff. Well, maybe not me so much, but like you and some of the other bigger creators. You know, you guys all kind of, we use it. So at least just give the credit where it's due. Oh, shoot. Sophia, too. Okay.
Yep. I don't know when this is going to be put out, but I'm definitely curious. Because if she's recorded this recently, like within the past, I don't know. Thank you so much, Lauren, for the super sticker.
I wonder if it was before she went on vacation.
Are they still going on vacation?
I don't think so. But she's kind of been laying low with everything going on. So I'm wondering did she do that before she went?
Because
before all of this?
In the past few days, she can ask about Catelynn and Tyler. Like, so what is going on? Like, why are you going so hard?
Yes.
Because I don't think that's legitimate. I don't think Farrah going after them is because she really has any concern over anything with them. I think it's strictly due to she's just trying to start.
There's always seemed to be animosity between all three of them. Between them, those two and her. Yep. And I think that, because I know that one of the sources, like OK Magazine that she was talking to, or somebody like that. And I feel like they probably asked her on purpose because they know that she was going to, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So that's what I think. Like, oh, well, we already know that they don't really like each other, so we're going to be sure to ask her questions about them.
Make sure we ask about that. Yeah.
Yes.
And she's like, I feel like people should call CPS on me. And I'm like, girl.
That's what I said. I don't know if you saw my video, but I was like, okay, let's not. How about you don't?
I think I even said in that video the other day, like, I think I said this. I was like, Tiffany, like, even Tiffany would say, probably like, a fair girl, what are you doing? Like, yes. I was like, I bet you people that even like disagree with Catelynn and Tyler at this point, they're like, girl, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know, because Farrah has no right to speak on parenting or
Not with
anything.
how she's done her parenting. And you know that recently she said that she was an empty nester, right? That her
Yes!
daughter's now 16 and she does not have to parent her anymore. She is fully, but didn't she say that when she was like 6 at one point too? It was like
4. She was 4.
4. Okay.
Farrah went on Bethany Frankel, and Bethany
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh, yes. Yes.
yep. She was like, why do you have days away from your daughter? Like, why do you somehow Bethany knew that Farrah would have days away from her daughter. She was like, why do you do that? She was like, well, we need time away from each other. Like, she's her own person. Like, we don't have to be stuck at the hip with each other. So yes, I have 3 or 4 days, to where she goes off with whoever and I am to myself, just to give us space. And Bethany's like, she's 4.
Exactly.
But she's her own person. But yeah, I definitely heard her say on the interview with the Daily Mail, she was like, no, it was on the Comedy Store. She's like, I'm an empty nester. My daughter's 16. She doesn't need me anymore. And I'm like thinking that way may end up getting her pregnant, because like kids at 16 that
she's too codependent.
Huh?
I think that she's too codependent on Sophia. So Sophia's always with her. That's like her only friend. But the things that she just exposes Sophia to, I wonder if Sophia like doesn't want to do that. Even though she dresses a certain way, I think to get more attention Farrah's way, keep people talking about them, because she dresses a little too grown in my opinion.
A lot of people are like, good on Farrah for letting Sophia express herself. And I'm like, I'm all for letting your child express herself to an extent. But Sophia is over sexualized in the way that yeah. And that's just the way that I feel about it. So
I'm like, if you feel that Catelynn and Tyler, like really what Catelynn and Tyler need is probably different types of a different form of therapy to help them and maybe their daughters, possibly, with whatever effects they are having. But CPS, Farrah.
Did you
take that energy to Janelle? Take that energy to Janelle.
I know, right? Are you talking about the picture that I put where it has Sophia like recording her mom getting like butt injections? Is that what you said?
I saw that picture and I had a double look. I'm like, is this really going on? Is this real life right now? Like, why would you? Sophia, come hold my hand while I get butt injections. Like, what?
I'm like,
that really is like her friend.
I'm gonna show the picture because I did post this on my
I'm scared. I'm so scared.
Keep this in mind, you guys. Farrah is encouraging people to call CPS on Catelynn and Tyler because Catelynn and Tyler are not good parents. And meanwhile, this is Nova, at like 9 years old, dressed appropriately, going to a daddy-daughter dance because she's enrolled in school and she does normal things. And then here's little Sophia, who never had a normal life, who
never
recording her mom getting butt injections.
Sophia, get the good angle for me so I can post it.
Right? Make sure you
hold a little lower, sweetie.
What? Oh yeah, so I was like, I literally cannot. Yeah, and please don't call CPS on anybody. We're not encouraging anybody.
No. That is not necessary.
Yeah, I'm just saying she doesn't have the right to tell people to call CPS on Catelynn and Tyler when all we do see from Catelynn and Tyler is, hold on, let me bring you back. The most we could say is like, yeah, they talk to their kids a lot about Carly. And is that appropriate or not? Should they or should they not? Some people think they shouldn't. Some people think they don't have a problem with it. There's different opinions in that regard. But as far as is it abusive to them?
No.
Girl, not no more than Sophia recording you having vaginal rejuvenation over here. So shut up.
Somebody, there was a comment out there that was like, well, Catelynn and Tyler's kids always look like disheveled or something. And I'm thinking like, I know you're not comparing their kids to Sophia and I'm not sitting here making judgments other than to the parents. And there was times that I felt like Farrah needed to brush out Sophia's hair when she was younger. I've not felt that way looking at Catelynn and Tyler's children is all I'm going to say.
And just like kids, like, a lot of what we see in their house with Catelynn and Tyler is they're like at home most of the time. So the other kids may be crazy. Bear will have Sophia out and about, like out and about. And
I think that she even has her out of school, like homeschools her so she can do all these events with their like. Yes. It's very weird. It's very codependent. Like she can say everything she wants about Catelynn and Tyler and their trauma and codependency, trauma, but like whatever. You're doing the same thing with your daughter, honey. Just so you know.
Yeah, I remember she went to like the Cannes Film Festival,
and she had Sophia with her.
She had Sophia with her, and I think that was right after she took her out of school, because she said something in one of her interviews about taking her out of school so she could come to that. And then she took her to
she's going to travel the world with me and like be exposed to other cultures. And that's like more than she'll learn in school. It was something along those lines. Okay. That she said.
Like, if you say so, like, yeah, I don't, Farrah, I honestly think Farrah had the only reason she's doing this. I don't think she has any concern over Kate and Tyler's kids. I don't think she cares about Catelynn and Tyler's kids. I think she is speaking out to get attention, to bring attention to herself, to her pages, maybe so people can go to her pages, see that she's doing this comedy bit now. It's strictly for attention, in my opinion. I don't think she
does everything to try to make a buck and to stay relevant, you know?
100%. Somebody said, Sophie, are you okay? Blink twice.
Wear black next time that you take a picture if you need help.
Make sure you have on black socks in the next picture and black eyeshadow. But I've watched Farrah's TikToks where she's went live and Sophia's like in with them. And I will say, it seems like Sophia gets annoyed with Farrah really easily.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like she gets annoyed with her super easy. And I'm like,
I've noticed that.
She probably hates that like her only friend is her daggone mom because her mom won't let her because
she won't let her have friends.
Idea that they're super famous. So like even Sophia playing the VR, she's not allowed to say like her name. She has to have like a fake name. And it's only after she's friends with people on the VR for so long that she can finally tell them who she is. So like Farrah doesn't allow her to like have like friends her age really.
But she'll let her like live stream. Like there was a time when Sophia was younger that she was like live streaming with grown men.
Oh my goodness. There was a comment on Twitter years ago where Farrah posted a picture of her and Sophia, and I had it in my phone for a long time. And a man commented that he would love to see a mommy-daughter shower video with them two. And Farrah liked it. Farrah liked the comment. I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
That is so disturbing.
You could probably find it if you like try to Google it or something because it exists. And then she had Farrah was on directme.com where she was offering, you know, she could do poop videos for like $100, whatever.
Yes. And she also like takes cotton balls and wipes her derriere and mails that to people so they have a little Hershey kiss from her. That's the best way to put it, okay?
It was offering golden shower videos for like $100, and on the same site that she was offering that, she had Sophia on, and Sophia would DM you for like $300. Sophia would promote your business.
I remember that.
Yep.
Cameos. She was doing cameos. That's what she was saying. Sophia will do a cameo. Like, girl, no. How about not?
How about not? Meanwhile, you are suggesting that Catelynn and Tyler are bad parents, and here's what you got your daughter doing. Like,
and that's. I've gotten so many comments though that there's people literally in my comments that are like, Farrah's a way better parent than Catelynn and Tyler, and I'm like, she's always with her daughter. She's always present, and she lets her be herself. And I'm like, you're really overlooking a lot of problematic behavior, okay?
I said that, I think, yesterday. I was like, I know I've seen this too. I've seen a lot of people say, like, Farrah's turned out to be a great mom. And I'm like, they're like, a clock is twice a day. Like, she may do a couple of things that, like, are good, but all the other things that she's done with her, like, Catelynn and Tyler, they're not present with their kids. Like, are they not present with their kids? They're just not with their kids 24/7 all over.
And this
social
is
media.
my thing. Like, sure, Catelynn and Tyler had the fans only. I didn't like that they would post some of Tyler's pictures in their story, and then like the next picture would be one of their kids or their family. Like, keep it separate.
That's
But
weird, yeah.
yes, but on the flip side of the coin, though, I don't feel like their kids were around them when the content was being taken.
Oh,
Whereas with Sophia and Farrah, like there's been times that Farrah has Sophia take pictures for her content. Like her in risque, like, so although, like, you know, they both may do some of the same things. Catelynn and Tyler don't have theirs anymore, I guess, but
right.
they at least don't have their kids like taking the pictures of Tyler for them. You know what I mean? Like,
hold on.
There's some degrees of separation.
Did you see the photo? Because I'm super nosy, so like I had to watch Farrah's corn video because I'm so nosy, and I had to look at some of Tyler's OnlyFans.
Girl,
so nosy. Could you imagine?
Girl,
there's a Tyler in a red thong? Did you see this one?
Yes.
Okay, and he's like looking over his shoulder like this, and he's in a red thong. Could you imagine, like, if in this photo we saw literal like Nova, like
right, like in the corner?
We would all be like, "What the heck is going on here?"
Yes,
but we literally see that with Farrah, and with like we've seen this. I did a video just yesterday, and I literally looked some of the things up that I've covered about Farrah and Sophia. There was a video of Farrah and Sophia when Sophia was like 10, that of them twerking. Like they posted a video of them twerking, and they posted it.
Nothing shocks me, just so you know. Like when it comes to Farrah and her mom, like nothing. I'm just like, yeah, like that's just another day. That's a Tuesday for them. Like, and
a regular Tuesday for them too. Yeah, she let Sophia promote a fertility company. It looked like in the picture, Sophia was literally 12.
Holding a pregnancy test.
Yes.
Girl, I saw that too.
She was 9 years old when she was left in the lobby of a hotel in Dubai while Farrah was in the hotel room working.
She was putting work in, honey.
So I can't even.
Yeah. So even I was like, I know Farrah's not saying this. Even I was
same. Yeah, and I will put it out there. Me watching Farrah's corn video and Tyler's OF pictures was for research purposes only.
Yes. Okay. To be fair, though, her video, because, like, you know, when my husband worked for a landscaping company, a lot of the guys, girlfriends, wives, whatever, watched the show. Mm-hmm. Tell me why there were guys at his work watching her video when it came out. Like, before going to work for the day, it's like, let's gather around and watch the. Yes. So.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Yeah. My husband walked over and was like, what are you guys watching? And then was like, oh. Yeah.
And let me tell you, this video is like
raunchy.
Yeah. Raunchy. Like she goes straight for like the hardcore stuff. Like she has 2 videos. So the first video, like as soon as a guy walks in, it's like straight to the back end, back there. Started off like, yeah, he went straight for the bum. Like it was
the back door.
He
backdoor.
That's probably why I named that Backdoor Teen Mom, because that's how it started out. Home dude walks in, they kiss a little bit, and he goes straight for the back door.
And he's a corn star, even though she was like, he was my boyfriend. Like, no, Vivid set you up with him for those purposes only, honey.
And he come out to say that. He came out.
He didn't like it.
He did not like that she lied, because he's like, I'm not your boyfriend. Like, this is what I do for a living. He did several interviews where he said, no, this was a setup. She did want us to be seen out and about, like holding hands, so it would look a certain way or whatever. But yeah, we never dated. This was literally all a setup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
girl. Yeah.
But yeah. And she even said that when Sophia was like, she did an interview with Us Weekly, when Sophia was probably 13, and they asked her if Sophia was aware about her video, and she said yes.
Yep.
She explained it to Sophia that she keeps Sophia in the know about everything. And I'm
everything.
like, you do not need to tell your daughter that you have a corn video. Maybe wait till she's a little bit older. I don't know.
She said that she could watch it too. That she would be okay with her watching it. So insane. I mean, her book alone was pretty. If that was the book that she wrote for Sophia to read one day,
my teenage dream ended. I'm like, I would not, if I was a teen mom, which I was, I would not write a book saying my teenage dream ended just because I had you. That's very like, wow. Like, so I ended your dreams. Like,
but also she had the picture of her and Sophia on the cover, but the content in the book was very derogatory. I wouldn't want to put my child's picture on the book when I'm writing about that.
I need to read the book. Do you have it on your page? Do you have?
I do. I don't. I have a Farrah playlist. I have so many playlists. It's ridiculous. But I read the whole thing.
I've only read excerpts from the book, and it's been a while. B says, I'm gonna have nightmares. I'm on my way to bed, gonna have nightmares. I know, right? Anyways, you guys, we're gonna close this one out. 2 of my kids have come in, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. Tiffany, thank you so much for hopping on with me. You guys, if you see the picture, I just wouldn't encourage you guys to post it just because out of,
please don't.
Give her privacy. Thank you, Tiffany. We'll have to do this again. I always enjoy having you on. You guys go follow Tiffany. If you don't, she's everywhere. YouTube, I'll get her links and post them in the description. That way it'll be easier for you guys to find it. And I'll see you guys back later sometime today because I'll probably do more content today. Bye, everyone.
Bye.